Hi, I hope you are enjoying your summer. It is sunflower season right now, and I definitely wanted to include a sunflower image into one of my projects. So I'm going to use one of Birch Press Design layering sets to create a sunflower medallion. Let's get started. I'm going to start with a white top folding card base 4 inches by 5 7/8. Then I'm going to use a pair of matching dies. They are called Big Hexagon Border and Little Hexagon Border by Poppy Stamps. I'm placing Big Hexagon Border die onto the card front, and I'm making sure the cutting edge of the die is aligned with the side edge of the card base. Then I'm going to tape it down and run it through the die cutting machine. I'm brushing out all the negative hexagons, and this is the pattern that I should get. Then I'm going to repeat exactly the same process on the opposite edge of the card base. As always, the tools and products that I'm using are listed on my blog as well as in the description. So this is the card front, and now let's work on the inside of the card. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to mask off 1 inch strip from each edge of the card base. I'm using the grid on my mat for measurements and alignments, and I'm using washi tape for masking. Then I'm going to use mustard seed distress ink to color those areas. And once I'm finished, I'm going to remove the washi tape. Then I'm going to use the next die, Little Hexagon Border, on the inside of my card, and this is the best way to align this die. You can probably see the tiny holes in the center of each hexagon. They are meant to poke out the die cuts. As I'm placing the die, I'm trying to make sure that each hole is placed right in the center of each hexagon and not shifted to any of the sides. Then again, I'm running it through the machine, clearing out the negative pieces, and I'm going to repeat this process on the other side. So this is the result that you can get with those layering border dies. Now when I have prepared the card base, I can move on to my focal image. To create it, I'll be using the layering die set by Birch Press Design called DAZZLER, and I have die cut all 3 layers out of white cardstock. I'm going to set the mid layer aside because I'm going to leave it white. As for the remaining 2 layers, I'm going to color them using distress inks. For the outer layers, I'm going to use mustard seed again. The general advice here is to go with dabbing instead of dragging, not to deform those delicate die cuts. For the inner layers, I'm going to use vintage photo distress ink. Then I'm going to attach all those die cuts one on top of the other using some liquid glue. Lining up the layers of this set is really simple. You just have to make sure the outer edges are well aligned. Then I will also be layering the inner part of the medallion. Then I'm going to insert the center of this sunflower into the petals, and at this point I have decided that I'm also going to create an outline for the petals. I have used the die called DAZZLER Base, and now I'm going to attach the background to the flower. So this is what my sunflower medallion looks like, but before I attach it to the card, I'm going to add some DIY embellishments to it. To make a charm, I'm going to insert a head pin into a teardrop bead and then add another small bead to it. And then I'm going to use round nose pliers to create a loop at the end of the charm to be able to hang it. Those little embellishments are really easy to create and I'm using them really often on my projects. I'm working on the piercing side of my craft mat and I'm using the sharp needle tool to pierce 3 holes at the end of 3 petals on the medallion. Then I'm attaching each charm to the petal with 1 jump ring. To attach the medallion to the card, I'm going to apply some pieces of mounting tape at the wrong side, and I'm making sure I'm not overlapping the holes. I'm peeling off the backing, and then I'm going to position the medallion right in the center of the card, a bit closer to the upper edge. I have arranged several large half pearls in the center of my sunflower. Then with the pickup tool I'm lifting up 1 bead, placing some glue underneath and sticking it back onto its place. The last step is attaching the sentiment. I'm using Calligraphy Pop Congrats die by Birch Press Design, and it has the outline and the background that I have colored yellow. I have layered the 2 pieces and attached the sentiment at the bottom of the card with a liquid glue. And that finishes my card for today. I hope you liked the tutorial. Please keep enjoying those last days of summer and I'll be seeing you soon.